Hello guys, my name is SAB and I'm back with another episode of the Thought Process series. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to the legend himself, Bogur, as we break down what goes into the mind of one of the world's best Winston players. Bogur is an incredible streamer himself and a top main tank player. So if you want to check out any of his content, the links for those are in the video description, and the game that we're about to break down is itself on his YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out.
Okay, I'm Bogur. I play Winston, I play main tank. This season I'm peaked 4.6 like a few days ago with 70% win rate on Winston.
Winston is in a funny state because at the pro level people play Winston a lot, but on ladder I think most people just default to Rhine Rush. So how are you finding playing Winston in Rhine Rush, and what is the secret to this 70% win rate?
I think Winston is pretty good against Rhine Rush on like maps that your backline is safe. For example, on King's Row it's really bad because your backline has nowhere to play. And it's really good on maps like Gibraltar because your team can just play high ground, so they're safe. Meanwhile, you can farm your root, and the idea is always at choke points with Winston, you go and farm your root as the rush comp is rotating, because they have to rotate together as six. You get a lot of root charge, you get your Zarya energy, and you get some root charge for your Ana.
The kind of big points that I took from that was play patient and play around your ultimates. Is that fair?
Yeah, pretty much. In Rush, you don't care about the ultimates that much. On double bubble, you have to play around your roots.
Is there a common thing that you think, oh, every Winston I watch does this wrong?
They try to always jump into the enemy and use their jump just to engage and never to disengage, and they always die, and then like, yeah, Winston is useless, GG. Or they just focus the front line, they never focus the back line. So if you focus the front line as Winston against the Reinhardt will always win because he has more armor and he has swings. His swings do a lot more damage than your little zap gun. You really need to do damage to the backline to make it any value. So whenever you go in with now, you need to focus the backline. Whenever you go in with Primal, you need to focus the backline.
If I can summarize what I think is important that you said there is, you're not necessarily hard committing to get kills yourself. You're treating your job as, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to drain a bunch of their resources and then get out, and that's my job done.
Yeah, because the game is ultimately a resource-based game. So if I go in, I need to trade my HP to get some value. So what value am I looking for? Trade HP and shield for Ana Nade and McCree Flashbang and a little bit of their HP, you know? So I use my ult. What do I use my ult for? To get one kill, you know? It's a resource-based game and everything is a resource. Your cooldowns, your HP, the damage you output, everything. And you need to manage it correctly to win games.
We're now going to watch one of Bogur's top 500 games where he's going up against ML7, Django the main tank of the Houston Outlaws, and Fitzy here amongst a bunch of other good players. While his team will start running a Brig Lucio and has very little communication going on. So we'll see how he turns this situation somehow into a winning one. So you notice there Winston jumping up to the high ground. A lot of people might have jumped after him, but you don't. So what's the thinking behind that?
If I jump there, then I give up the choke for free. So I won't. If I jump there, I cannot contest cart anymore, and I can't deal damage to the backline anymore. It's more important for me to wait for the cart to push up to the choke, so my team has line of sight, and then me dropping and contesting the healers. Because if Winston pushes up there all by himself, and I block off the Ana's heals and the Brigitte's heals, then Winston can die pretty easily against my team. But if I jump there, I'll waste all of my resources just to have their Winston drop at full HP on cart and let them push cart for free. It's pretty useless.
So a lot of people would, in this situation, they see a Winston jump up here, they would think, well, I've got to do damage to this Winston, I've got to pressure this Winston. But what you're saying is by dropping down here, cutting off the Brig and Ana heals, you are doing damage to the Winston by just not letting him heal up.
You do more damage, to be honest. By cutting off heals, you do more damage.
Now let's see that in action. Okay, so you get another bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go. Like you said, you kind of pressured for a little bit. You bought a bit of time. You pressured the payload. When you were low, out you jump. So the lesson here is, guys, sometimes to do damage, you need to think beyond just the scope of what can I taser. Winston's damage output is relatively low, but his bubble has 700 HP. If you put that bubble between someone and their healers, that's 700 HP's worth of healing that someone is not receiving. And of course, you can still pressure the healers themselves. So think of the bubble as a way to damage someone by isolating them away from their teammates. Here in these two examples from later in the game, notice Bogur's approach. the enemy Zarya gets grabbed and he immediately jumps up and puts a bubble around her. This is actually more impactful than his primary fire because he denies the enemy Ana from healing her Zarya. And in fact, Bogur's bubble blocks her bionic nade too. If just one more teammate had decided to focus the Zarya, they would have gotten this kill easily because she's cut off from any support. And here's another example from Bogur's attack round. The enemy are set up nicely on the high ground, but rather than jump the Ana or the Brig, who can stun and knock him back, he jumps between them and their Zarya. He could jump the Brig, but there's a likelihood
I
that
could
she
jump the
just
Brig
bashes
and
him.
Ana there, but the risk of me getting bashed and like just focused on by Brig because she can shoot me through the bubble and maybe ML hits sleep or a nade when we have no heals whatsoever is really big risk I can't take, you know? So if I go in the back line, I cannot kill it for sure. And they'll just deal a lot of damage to me that can't be healed. So if I drop and they drop after me, I'll just die. But here, if I jump the Zarya, I might block a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing. I might be just annoying, you know? Like, it's more useful, in my opinion, in this situation.
Nothing immediately comes of it, but notice that the Zarya's HP starts dropping and isn't going back up. Again, if Bogur's teammates were helping him up here, this Zarya would have been an easy kill. But even disrupting the enemy healers is good enough. In the following jump up, Bogur does get a teammate following him up, and this time, he's able to bubble over the top of the Ana. Now, she can not only not heal anyone outside the bubble, but none of her teammates can help her either, meaning Bogur gets a straightforward kill. Back to the defense on point A, and a couple fights have gone by, and the enemy team are building ults way faster than Bogur's team. So that's where we'll rejoin them, as the enemy team is pushing up the right side stairs. Now again, having seen them going right, Bogur just checks. It's like, are they right? Are they right? Are they coming? Are they coming? So that's what Bogur's doing here. Just constantly checking.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Here, I think I called in to go in before they use EMP because we have no ults. The idea is their Sombra might be setting up behind us at this moment, and they might be setting up to like make a play. And if we force a play out of them, we might actually win the fight. Because if we just sit AFK and we let them EMP however they want, then they get as much value as they want.
Which is basically disrupt whatever your enemy's trying to do. As the tank, obviously you can make space, but also what Bogur's doing a lot here is disrupting their plans. Even if Bogur's team loses the fight here, well, maybe they'll get another push, where otherwise they wouldn't have done if they'd let the enemy team walk in. So, let's see what happens here. He does get EMP, but again,
only 3 people get EMP'd instead of the entire team. You know?
Yeah, and you're able to walk out alive.
Yeah, I maybe die, maybe live. I'm not sure. I did live. Yeah.
You live, yeah. So that's a huge success, right? EMP was completely useless there. Bogur lives, he gets his Primal off, and 1 resources you've already drained for nothing. So let's see how now. Okay, now the Primal juggles. This we can't, unfortunately, Bogur can't teach you. You just have to practice these. So you're going for the Ana again to try and disrupt. And also, never a bad idea to just ego ML a little bit. But he can see he gets...
They PO'd really hard. I was pretty sure I could kill her, but the Zarya bowled her, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
I might die here. We did lose 1 person. I was a bit greedy here. But let's see what happens. I'm not sure.
Oh, the Brig actually knocks you closer to your team. But a little bit too much.
I didn't get help. Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, in this scenario as well, Bogur doesn't have like what you would call a main healer. He has a Brig and Lucio, so
I do have a Brig. Honestly, if we had an Ana here or we had a Baptiste, I know why he swapped. I would have left for sure.
Yeah, if you do have Brig Lucio, it kind of narrows what you can do. Or just if you don't have a BAP or an Ana, it can narrow what you do as a Winston. That's an example there.
I do want to point out that we just shaved like 40 seconds off the clock when they could have just EMP'd us all and just won the fight instantly, and also forced a rally and a nano boost from them instead of just waiting for them to EMP us and dive us and kill us all.
Exactly, and that 40 seconds might come in handy later when you guys are trying to stop them on point
also
B or
forced
C.
the Primal. They also used Primal as well.
Django
just for
might
1
even die
Primal.
here.
We used 1 Primal for 4 rules.
Exactly. Just 1 good engage there from Bogur there draws out like all that stuff. So let's have a look. Looks like your team is recontesting. They're trying to stall. And again, they might force more ults. They force a grab now.
Grab as well.
And again, all that you've used still is that Primal. The rest of your team is still building their ults. So for 1 Primal, we got 5 ults out. Not a bad trade, I'd say.
Yeah,
I think if you do that
exactly,
as a main tank, you're doing a good job.
Here I see Django. Like, I see that the enemy team is doing Korean plays, you know, they push up and they start flanking and doing stuff, you know. And Django is a lone card, so I'm like, what are you doing? So I just went to the card and I start contesting it. They can't put resource on me because they're all I know what they're doing. They're all left side, and I think their plan was, okay, guys, you go high ground, I'll push card. That's what Django probably said. And I'm like, okay, but you don't. You won't push card. I'll just sit next to you. So my team has a better line of sight of shooting him. I have complete cover if I use the card correctly. Like, I just win that for sure. I force them either to drop high ground or force Django just jump to them, and then they get no card push.
Again, break some of the rules. You know, even though high ground is the right play here, so you spot something that's basically better than just holding high ground. It's just, well, I'll just stop the payload altogether. So, yeah, recognize situation, make use of it. Now the tickle fight begins.
I don't even move. I just sit there. Like, they can't do anything to me.
Yeah, this is the tickle fight. This is him getting packed, him getting packed, you getting bubbled, and we hear a grab go on behind. So now Django's like, okay, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm not sure if I jump anymore or just sit card. But they're completely lost right now. I'm looking at them. I'm laughing at this point. Like, what was this? What was the point of this? I don't even move from card. That's how effective you can be in Winston or like any other tank if you just know what's the correct play at any given situation. All it took for me to win this entire fight was just AFK on card. Like, I didn't move even. I just stood at the same spot. I didn't take any damage because the card is the most important thing. Yeah. And then we go back high ground.
Now we're going to fast forward a couple fights till Bogur's team has been pushed to the last area of point B. Yeah, it's Overwatch. Okay, so again, why the choice of the Zarya here? What have you seen that makes you jump?
Well, if I jump the backline, then my team doesn't have line of sight. And if I jump the Zarya right now on card, I can block off heals and my team can maybe focus there. The most important thing here is to contest card. You know, somebody needs to contest card. I need to keep my Zarya on high ground, give her energy, and just hope she wins us the fight with high energy while just contesting card. Because if I force my Zarya to go card and me go on the back line, I probably can't do enough damage on the back line. Meanwhile, I can contest card forever. I can jump in with Zarya bubble, with my bubble. I can use Primal if I get low. I can do so many things just to contest card, just to have my Zarya maybe kill a few people on the back line, because Zarya damage is a lot more than Winston damage. The objective is the most important part in every game of Overwatch. You get kills to cap objectives or defend an objective. You use ults to get an objective. If you can contest the objective without using ults and like just buy time on defense, eventually you're gonna win, because it's a battle of attrition ultimately. On defense, it's very important to always look at the card, look at the point, and understand, do I sacrifice point here to get kills so ultimately they don't cap? For example, you can make that play. You can be like, I'll let them push a little bit, and then I'll go in the backline because it's a better spot for my team to shoot them or for me to engage them. Or do I not have that space to even do it? So I'll just have to go card. It's important to understand that as well.
Yeah, recognize the win condition. So let's see how this goes for you having isolated the Zarya. So again, the bubble around her means she can't get healed by the Ana. And now we pop Primal, and now we're going to go at that back line. So seeing the McCree High Noon, you back out. Obviously, we don't want to mess with that. And again, just using using the card as natural cover, right? Like, this is what it is. Again, remember, maximize everything you can, guys. Maximize, even like the card, which isn't, like, you know, it's not always going to be here, but right now it's here, so use it. And that's what Bogur's doing.
Saved me.
Exactly. And now he just pushes the Brig away. He gets hacked again, which is just the rough nature. But even then, like, even that little juke, right? He gets hacked, and you could have just stood there and been like, I'm hacked, I die. But just even
I forced jump from Winston.
Exactly. Just a little AD around the wall, and it forces Django to go in to finish. And now Django doesn't have a jump to hit anyone else. So now Django has to back up. So just maximizing every little bit of life you have as a tank in particular is just really, really important. As everyone is important, but as a tank, if you do that, it buys your team so much more time.
Yeah, the more you stay alive, the more focus they have on you, and that means the less focus they have on your team. Like, even if you're like, yeah, my team are really bad always, yeah, but their team is also bad. Like, by logic, if your team is always bad, then their team is always bad as well. In Plat, for example, you know, imagine if your team is always feeding and going in. Imagine how much they could do if the enemy's focus was on you, not on them.
Word. And again here, Bogur's just trying to not let them get in for free, right? The Brig and the Ana, they don't want to be stuck in this tiny corner. They want to get out and help everything else that's going on. But just by being here, Bogur's annoying the crap out of them. He's just stopping them. See, the Brig has to spend all their time on Bogur. ML has to blow asleep. He's just zoned out. So this is, again, without doing anything too fancy, he's just stopping all these guys from getting any value. They're just having to waste their time here. Now an EMP comes in, which is brutal. But again, just use this cover, right? We're just living. We're just buying time.
Just sitting AFK.
Just staying
alive. The more you live, the more Primal I can farm. And like here we don't have Ana, right? So I cannot do anything aggressive against them. Like even if I engage, I won't get heals. We have just 3 packs, and my Lucio can't heal me either. So I just need to buy time. Like I can't do anything as a Winston with just Brigitte Lucio. It's really hard. So I'm just trying to play for the card. It's a really rough situation. So I just try to buy time on card, maybe force cooldowns, play around my team and stuff. Like anything really.
Exactly, like recognizing when you can and can't be the playmaker, right? In this comp, you just got, your job is to stay alive. But in a different comp, if they had a Nana, then you'd see Bogur taking nanos and getting a lot more aggressive, trying to use his primals aggressively as well. So adapt to the game and the comp you're in. We're like, oh, I don't know why they did
The
that.
plan is, and I'm not joking, the plan was I'll bait them, I'll make them shoot me, and Ecoflex will boop them off.
Well, let's see it.
I was like, oh no, look at me, stupid monkey.
Oh, he got him. He got him. There you go. There you go. Setting up plays even in a different ways, guys.
Yeah.
The monkey bait.
And here
now
I call
they're
to
gonna
play
get
their
the
spawn.
cleanups. Yeah.
I call to play their spawn.
Yeah, again, and see, this is the reason we're able to do this is we got 1 pick on the McCree for free, and then we got another pick early. So now just go. You know, there's nothing to stop you. You got the momentum, your team is with you. Of course, sometimes you'll call this and your team won't come with you in plat, but if they are with you, then go ahead, make plays like this, right? 17 seconds. Another reason I imagine Bogur is doing this is because 15 seconds left, they need to rush the cart. So by being here,
yeah, exactly.
they have to either ignore Bogur and run past him, taking a shit ton of damage,
or hard
stay
focus
here
on
and
me,
lose.
and people on cart will die.
Because of Bogur's aggressive engagement, the enemy team is forced to blow ults just to get to the cart. Again, in this situation, the red team has more ultimates, but by applying those key terms that Bogur spoke about, disrupting the enemy team and forcing them to do something when they don't want to, he's able to take a losing situation and turn it into a winning one. As a main tank, it's on you to time the engagements properly, so you should always be on the lookout for moments where you can start the fight that are unfavorable for the enemy team and that will give you an advantage. Here we just saw 2 good examples. 1, when you have the numbers advantage, and 2, when you have the positional advantage. Overtime situations work well because the enemy team has to go past you to get to the cart, and Bogur's team is able to do a lot of damage and eventually hold them early on point C without actually any of his teammates having pulled off any huge plays. It's all just in the timing. Here in attack, we're going to see evidence of a really important concept when playing Winston or any of the current dive comps, playing patiently and playing around your ultimates. Even at the best of times, you don't want to hard commit on Winston until your team has built up key ultimates like Nano Boost and your Primal Rage. But in Bogur's case, this is even harder because his team is still running the Brig Lucio, meaning he doesn't have a reliable source of healing, especially at long range. So, knowing he has limited resources, all that Bogur does is play patiently, denying as much space as he can with just his HP and his bubble, and then waits for his ultimate. Again, this jump, the purpose, I presume, just, okay, push this, let's push this Brig back, let's push this Zarya back.
Deny space, not much to do.
Exactly, so just, getting the most as we can. And again, there Winston's trying to do what Bogur was doing on defense, he's just trying to stop the payloads, just trying to buy time. And again, Bogur's just trying to pressure their Zarya away, so this is the fight for space, basically the back and forth. And eventually, when he's too low, he just gets out. Again, remember, he's got Brig Lucio, so he can't stay that long. So he has to get out. Better safe than sorry.
They have a big advantage here with the Ana. Like, this huge advantage.
And again, just basically, if Bogur doesn't jump here, one of these guys can just walk up here and then start right-clicking Bogur's backline. They can start, the Zarya just starts right-clicking Bogur's Brig, or the Ashe walks up and starts poking from here. So that's why you're seeing Bogur, because he can't, basically, again, to clarify, if he tries to jump this Ashe here, she's going to coach him, he's going to get slept, and again, he already talked about if the bubble isn't perfect, he's just going to get booped away. Even if he lands with bubble, the Zarya's bubble is his. Exactly, he's going to get walled, they're going to walk inside the bubble, they're going to nade him, there's so many stuns and stuff, so this is risky. Even though right now the biggest threat is the Ashe, yes, this is the player who's doing the most lethal damage, but you can't contest it right now. It's just not possible. So Bogur's doing the next best thing. He's keeping the other space to minimize some of the damage and some of the pressure. And he's trying to play for his ult. Again, remember what we said at the start. You got to play patient. You got to play around your ultimate. So just trying to get whatever value he can. Again, his teammates are dying, so he just jumps out. So Bogur team is still waiting.
I flank just behind them so they don't boot me away instantly, so I can farm ult. That's it. Like, there's no big plan about it. Just I go in to farm some ult charge.
Exactly, and again, what we spoke about, right? We said play for ults. Bogur's team is still coming up on their first set. That's the nature of the fact that these guys on the red team have been farming from the high ground, so Bogur's team's way behind, and so he's just got to play to farm his ultimate. He's just playing the shield dance with his bubble. He knows he's gonna die, but at least now he's 10% to Primal.
Yeah, next jump I get Primal.
You're gonna jump the high ground. You want to. You can see it. Here we go. So we get booped again. So the bubble's late, so we get booped. So this is important. If you can get this going with your Zarya, you know, obviously maybe you get a duo, but even in ranked, if you get a Zarya who will bubble you, make sure she bubbles you before you actually land, because you need to stop this kind of stuff happening, the boops from either the Ashe or the Brig. So communicate with your Zarya, but even at the highest level, people still screw it up. So Bogur gets grabbed. He's turning his head away here so that he basically is not exposing his head hitbox. So just, again, what did we say? Buying every little bit of time you can. Just by turning his head hitbox, he gets a little bit more out of it, and then Primal. Again, these guys are pumping everything into killing Bogur, which means they're not killing his backline. Up he goes. Now he's trying to get the Ashe and the Mei in a little corner. Unfortunately, they're getting hard pocketed.
Off even. Maybe I managed to boop someone. I don't think I do. Yeah, I can't. Unlucky. But I get some value. I get the graph off. I get them to focus me.
Exactly. So basically, in that time, the card is pushed. So if you're wondering what was all that for, well, they've got the card to the horrendous part of Dorado where teams basically lose, is when they can't get the card to there. It's there now. So Bogur's done his job. He's going to go get the health pack, so heal himself up, stops himself burning. His team are still dying.
Yeah.
But at least they've got a slightly better position now. Again, we're going to contest the Ashe. I think Bogur again was trying to hopefully knock her off, but doesn't quite. But there you go. He forces the nano boost.
Even though there are 2 kills and there's no threat for them to lose this, they still use nano. So that's good value. I get some ult charge as well.
And it wasn't even risky what Bogur did, right? It's just like a jump up here. He knows, okay, I got bubble, and if they really pressure me, I'll just drop down. So because this is it's different now. They're not seeing him coming from all the way here, right? When the payload is here, and the Bogur has to jump from down here, everybody's staring at him. They're gonna boop him on entry. But here, there's other stuff going on. And if we rewind a second, like here when Bogur jumps, you know, they're all split. The card is there, so they need to be ready to go to the card. So as Bogur jumps up, they don't see him coming. Not everyone's in position, because again, they need to be careful about the cart. So Bogur's able to pressure the Ashe, and in the minute his bubble is about to break, just drops down, gets out of there, forces the nano boost. So that's another resource. And now Bob is thrown in. So these guys are just pumping ults out because Bogur's scaring them like the boogeyman. So this time again, Bogur has Primal, so he jumps in a bit more aggressive. Now he knows he gets beat as well.
I get booped, and I try to land on top of that little thing, so I can slide down towards them instead of sliding off. You know,
exactly, nice.
If I don't go for it, I just drop down. But if I go for it, I just slide down towards them. Oh,
so yeah,
just use, you see?
Just use
some smart
roof,
CS surf.
The roof glide. Gets in, and then of course he sees the beat on him, so he's going to wait for the beat to go before he primals. Now, when he's at the edge of that, primal time. We're knocking ML around. We force him to nano again. He built it very quick, but that's ML for you. Gets that mega before he goes back up. Again, just trying to disrupt, just trying to do as much damage. And what's happened in the meantime? While all these guys were put in a corner by Bogur, the card has been pushing. The DPS has space. This is what it means to give DPS space, right? Look at our Widowmaker. She's getting a free angle on where Bogur's boxing him in, right? Nobody's bothering her. Our Tracer went in, got a pulse bomb kill. This is basically indirect value. Bogur may not have gotten a huge 5k primal, but he gave his team breathing room to be able to push past a stubborn choke and a stubborn defense. Now, we're going to look at another example of Bogur making space through just positioning and smart play. We already saw earlier how he's going to break down the high ground on point B on his attack, thanks to his isolating bubbles. Now, watch how he makes sure his team caps the objective and takes it to point C. So again, just take the value, right? Just by jumping and disrupting the high ground. Again, disrupt what the enemy is trying to do. Bogur keeps stopping their supports from doing what they want to do. I'm sure ML is pretty mad, and just, you know, just makes it easy for his team. His team are like living a comfortable life, and they don't know why. It's because the monkey's out here putting his body on the line. And again, right here, just stopping them from getting through the choke. Again, look at the POV of Bogur's team. Oh, it's all beautiful. There's a long sight line here. Nobody's bothering us. We can stare at whatever we want.
I hard commit first because we have beat, and then I keep hard committing because I have Primal. So I can literally Primal them off point without allowing the touch.
Exactly. And even then, though, he's still playing cautious. He's still playing the corner. He's not going to just int already. He doesn't need to go yet. He's waiting for them to commit.
Yeah.
There you go. Now Primal. At the last minute, again. Last minute, he primals. He's just smacking them around. Ana's missing her sleep.
Touch.
There you go. Gets a kill. Stops them from touching. And now at 100 HP,
he
jumps up. New spot, new Winston spot. Sick.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy that moment a little bit. And then
I was at this moment, it's like, oh my god, I didn't know this exists. It's like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, wow.
If they're ever rotating from bank, this might be a good monkey spot.
This is an amazing spot if they're rotating bank.
Fast forward to the final fight, and Bogur explains one of the key differences between Winston and Reinhardt mentality. And now they have to bob just a touch. We can burn him pretty easy. Just bubbling to protect everything. They're in desperation mode now, right? They got the Mei to stall. They're all throwing everything at it. They know they have to win this fight. Again, good target focus. So again, it's just a case of you're seeing who you can get and killing them, right? It's not like you're like, oh, I got to hard focus the Mei. It's just like, well, she's here. She's got her cooldowns out. I can kill her.
It's all about like poking and looking for an opportunity on Winston. Like on the Reinhardt, you're always going in, you know, you have a plan. On Winston, like you're kind of lurking. You're like, okay, I'll poke here a bit. I'll look at them. Maybe their Ashe screws up. I'll jump kill her. Maybe we farm Nano. I'll go in with Nano, you know, like you go with a general plan, but it's really easy for a Winston to adapt because you can go on high ground. You can go around the map like pretty fast. And you're just looking for an opportunity. Because here, as I've pointed out many times, we don't have much healing. So I just need to play really slow and see, oh, they Mei doesn't have Ice Block and she's low. Okay, I hard commit on the Mei and I kill her. Whatever happens next, doesn't matter. Just I take this opportunity.
Over time, Bogur's team is going to win this fight. And he's going to have ended up carrying his team just through smart decision making. The great part about this game is that Bogur didn't pull off any sick Winston tech or hard to replicate Primal juggles. He simply timed his engagements, timed his aggression, and executed the fundamentals. He was patient, he played around his ult, played around line of sight, used his bubbles to create space, and he disrupted the enemy team anytime they wanted to do anything. He took several fights at ult disadvantages and turned them for his team. So this is not a display of mechanics, but just smart play that you too can apply to your games.
Yeah, because it's not always about mechanics. Like you get these really hard games where it's really difficult to actually do anything as Winston if you really use this. But at the end of the day, if you understand the game, if you understand how to play it exactly, what to do exactly, you can make the best out of it and maybe win. Like it's really hard. Their team is like a better comp. They might have better players, but if you just make these important decisions at the right time, you can still win, you know? Like, yeah, your team is really bad on average. It is like that. It's really hard, but if you're a good player, you can make the best of it. You can't win every game. You can't. Nobody can, but you can win most of them.
Exactly. You can make an impact, right? That's the biggest thing I think you can do. Like you can't guarantee you'll win or lose, but you can guarantee that you give good impact. And again, look at this game. Bogur wins. Brig Lucio versus ML7, a guy who plays in the Houston Outlaws, and Fitzy.
Yeah, if I can win on a Lucio Brig and have my team not talking, I think you can win your games as well. Ranked is the Wild West. Like you get so many random people doing random stuff, and the people who are always high ranked, like for example Cloudy, they just make the best out of it. Sometimes you just really need to adapt and make some really weird plays. And like for example, me contesting card there, like for example, me going in their spawn, a lot of you are gonna be like, what is he doing? You know, he's just gonna die. Yeah, I died, but I had to do it for us to win. They had so many U's. They have big U's. They have EMPs. So if we just sit idle, we just lose the game. So we really need to we need to do something before they can do something.
So to summarize, don't jump in without a game plan. Make sure you have a Zarya bubble or your own bubble ready, and make sure you can get out. If you can, always try to walk or drop down to the location you want to be on, and then jump out to safety. Use your bubble to isolate enemies instead of just using it to protect yourself. If you cut off line of sight for enemy healers, you will cause so much more damage than just your Tesla cannon can. Cleave and annoy the enemy team when they're rotating, and time your fights for when they're not ready and when you know they've got an advantage that they could use against you. If you just let the enemy team fight whenever they want, they will always win. Finally, play patient and play to the lobby you're put into. Don't have good healers? Fine, play slower. Don't have a good off tank? Fine, play more self-sufficient. Primal Rage is an ultimate that will guarantee you a chance to do something to make space for your team. So if you just play around it, you will have the chance to swing fights and win the game in the long run. Nothing is gained from just giving up. Remember to check out Bogur's content because he's an awesome player and an even better person. And if you want to see more content like this, then make sure you do the usual liking, subscribing, commenting, etc. And do consider signing up to my Patreon, which helps me keep making videos like this. If you have any suggestions for players whose thought processes you want to hear, then drop it in the comment section and I'll try my best. But that's it from me. I'll be back before you know it with another video. See you guys soon. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna go and attack. Instantly slept out of spawn, all part of the plan. Get a little teabag from our Zarya. Okay.